Hello everyone. Since the combine is now over and I had a wonderful time watching it, I hope you did too. I'm going to go through my original mock draft that I made a couple of weeks ago, my pre-combine mock draft, and I'm going to try to see where these players are going to go now. If they're going to go higher than I originally projected or lower than I originally projected after what they did at the combine. So let's start with my man, Mr. Geno Smith. He did everything to solidify his number one spot at quarterback. He ran a 4.59 40. He may not go number one overall because it's up to the Chiefs if they want Alex Smith or Geno Smith, or if they want to drop down some in the draft, or whatever they're going to do. So he may not go one overall, but I think he's the solid first draft pick. First quarterback drafted this year. Number two is Star. I can't say it. I'm not going to be able to say it. You should have. It took me forever to say Palomalu, so Star is what I'll call him. He didn't come because of a heart condition. So we're trying to find out more about the heart condition, whether it's going to be very serious. And if you ask me, it was serious. If you missed the combine, it's very serious. So I can't see his stock. For being a number two overall, I can't see anybody spending a number two overall unless they have like no worries whatsoever. So his stock is probably going to drop. Raiders next. I had Bjorn Werner. He didn't blow up the combine either, but I don't think no one expected him to blow up the combine. His speed. He's supposed to be a speed rusher, but I think he had a 40 time the same of Sharif Floyd. So his stock, I don't think it's totally his fault because the other defensive ends in the combine just went off. I just think he's going to fall. Eagles next with Luke Jokel. Yeah, he's not a combine guy either. He didn't win the combine. But who really cares with the left tackle? If he can make sure he keeps the quarterback safe, then he's fine. So I think his stock stays level. I don't think he went up, nor did he go down because his game tape is so good. Next we have for the Lions, Demontre Moore. He did not have a good combine. Personally, when I saw him, I thought he looked good in the position drills, but the 40 time it was not good whatsoever. But I can even get over the 40 time, because there's a potential that you're a football player there. But when he only did 12 bench presses reps, 12 reps, you need strength, especially if you're gonna be down in the trenches. You're gonna need strength. If you were that weak and can only do 12 reps, you should have faked an injury or bicep injury or something on that one, man. That's gonna hurt him. Stock falling. Next, Browns. I have Ezekiel Ansah. Freak. There was many times at the combine I was just staring at this guy going, wow, the potential of what he can do if he gets it, and he seems like he's the type of intelligent young man that could absorb information quickly, and I hear that he is. So I really think with a 40 time of 4.63, I really think his stock is surely rising. Next, we have Mike Glennon, quarterback, North Carolina State, to the Cardinals. Glennon didn't have a great combine. He's not the eye-popping quarterback as far as athletic skills. And then you have Bray and Wilson rising, and then you got EJ Manuel's athleticism that just lit up the combine. I can easily see Glennon falling. I really can. I'm going to keep him here at level just because of two things: height and arm strength. Those are two. If you can teach around those things, because those things are very important for a quarterback in the NFL. If you can teach around those things, then you have to go for him. But you need to understand he's a project. Next, Bills. Tyler Wilson. Yeah, him and Bray was going up. I think he's picking up steam. Buffalo. The Cardinals may even get Tyler Wilson. So his stock is on the rise. Next. Mingo. Okay, remember a couple of seconds ago when I was talking about Anza and how he was a freak athlete, multiply that by 2, and that's what Mingo did. He also another absolutely freak athlete, 40 time, a 4.58. Again, another defensive end that I think is going up. Next, 10th, we have the Titans going with DeMarcus Milliner. Deep. I watched a lot of Milliner, and I after that blistering 4.31 40 time, I was so very unimpressed. Now you'll see all the other scouts tout him, and they're mainly focused on that 40 time. But if you go back and look at that combine, and with him in the position drills, he looked like a nervous kid on a stage that was too big for him, trying to be cool. You know what I'm saying? And that didn't relate to me. And then on the other hand, I think that there was a little honey badger in his head also, because Tyrann Mathieu looked far and above the best corner out there in those position drills. He wasn't as fast as everybody else, but he looked clearly above every other corner in that draft. And I think he got into Milliner's head. So there's a lot of stuff that came around that 40 time that I don't like about him. I don't see his stock falling because a 4.3 corner people are going to go for, but I wouldn't take him. Next, we have the Chargers going Eric Fisher at offensive tackle. Where Jokel didn't impress athletically, Fisher most certainly did. I mean, he blew up the combine with his athletic skills, which we knew he had. And when you have a left tackle that does things like that, there's a good chance that he could go a little bit higher than originally projected. So his stock is on the rise. Next, the Dolphins going Sharif Floyd. I want him. I want him with the Cowboys. And every time I saw him, I was like, wow, this is a monster. This is when you was watching Sharif do his drills and running the 40, you could actually see the extreme athlete inside of a huge man. You know, you could, and when he was running the 40, you can see the build of an extreme athlete inside of a bigger dude. So Sharif Floyd, I really like that. Like him, he may be going up. In my opinion, the stock is going up, and he may be going way up. Next, I have Buccaneers getting Jonathan Banks, cornerback, Mississippi. Deion Sanders or Leon Sandcastle, who he was really blurring the lines this weekend on the NFL Network. I didn't get it, but whoever it was said Banks didn't look good at all today. So if the best cornerback of all time says that about you, probably see it in the second round. You know, stock falling. Next, we have the Panthers going Kenny Vaccaro, safety from Texas. He did an average 40, but speed isn't that important for safety. Instincts is the most important thing. So I think the stock stays completely level. Next, we have the Saints going Deion Jordan. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. He was just blowing my mind with his abilities out there. He was, to me, clearly, if I was in need for a defensive end, kind of like we are with the Cowboys, I would go Deion Jordan. If he clears all medical things, but I think he will with his shoulder, I would go Deion Jordan first. He looked clearly like the best guy out there at defensive end. There were some more freakish athletes, but Deion Jordan looked the part. So stock up. Maybe even Raiders, maybe Chip Kelly, but stock up. Rams with Chance Womack, guard, Alabama. He's probably as polished as it can get with the guard. I mean, there's some guards that are pushing him, but he's the best in the draft, and he's, more importantly, he's a solid, kind of like DeCastro was last year. He's a solid pick. So if you don't want to take a chance on something else and you need a guard, then Chance Womack would be a good pick for you. 17, Steelers, Jarvis Jones. Who? Jarvis who? No, I'm sorry, but he didn't perform, and he's had some serious medical things, so his stock has to go nowhere but down. Next, the Cowboys selecting Sheldon Richardson, defensive tackle. Very, very solid combine. You know, talked to a bunch of teams. With Sharif Floyd probably going up, I also see Sheldon Richardson going up probably a little too. So he may not fall to us at 18, but if he doesn't, there's some more people there that I would also like at that position, but we'll get into that later. Number 19, the Giants, I had getting Manti Te'o, and my gosh, I am going to go on my knees tonight and pray that is true. Now, let me not do that. Let me not say that. Now, I don't want to go too far, but I kind of want him to be with the Giants because he sucked. He sucked. I don't know how I can emphasize that enough, but he sucked. I mean, not only did he have a slow 40 time, but in the position drills, he looked slow and his body looked soft and I mean, he wasn't overweight, but he didn't look defined either. He didn't look like he had any time. He looked like he was just a guy with just instincts to play football, but no athletic ability whatsoever. I mean, it was absolutely horrible. So his stock is falling, and I expect to see him in the second round. Next, we have the Bears selecting Alex Ogletree. He looks like a great cover linebacker. The only thing that's going to stop him and make his stock drop is if he did not perform well with the question and answer sections. If he did not perform well in that, then his stock will fall. But otherwise, I'm keeping him completely level. Next, Kevin Minter, I had at 21 from LSU. It was a stretch for me to have him in the first round. But I had a little belief that he could work his way up into it. But a slow 40 time, he had to do a lot better than what he did. So stock going down. See you later in the draft. I did the same for DeAndre Hopkins because I believe he's not considered a burner in this draft. So that's why a lot of people didn't have him in the first round. That's what they put in the first round with wide receivers. He ran a 4.57 40. But when you start looking at the tape and you realize down in Clemson he had an absolute monster on the other side of him, and he took all the yards and put up amazing numbers last year, then I think his stock should stay level right here in the first round. So I really expect to see DeAndre Hopkins out in the first round. At 23, the Vikings, Cordero Patterson, wide receiver, Tennessee. Let's see, he's 6'2", 215 plus, and he ran a 4.42 wide receiver. Yeah, stock up. Next, we have the Colts getting Lane Johnson. Okay, Lane Johnson, I've seen reports where people think that Lane Johnson had at least a top 5 overall combine. So he did very well this weekend. He's not as polished as the other 2 left tackles, but he made up some ground. And when you make up some ground as a left tackle and show especially with these defensive tackles that are in this draft, when you see his athleticism, then I could see his stock going up tremendously. Next, Keenan Allen for the Seahawks, wide receiver, California, wasn't able to work out. He was very disappointed about it. I think it was probably a smart decision. I think his ability may keep him solid. One of the few that didn't work out, I think that he may be able to stay solid. Speaking of injuries, we have the Packers getting Barrett Jones. Serious injuries questions. The stock is falling for this guy. Good offensive lineman, but you got to be sure you're going to get something that's going to be there for you for the duration. 27, I have the Texans taking Terrence Williams, wide receiver from Baylor. A touted elite speed wide receiver, getting a 4.52 40. No, not when you're in a cluster of good receivers, like 7 or 8 of them that could go in the same area. No, you won't make it. So I think his stock is definitely down. Number 28, Broncos, Desmond Trufant, cornerback, Washington. Let's see, 6 foot. He's good height. Great speed. He ran an excellent 40. Very good genes. I think you guys are familiar with the Trufant name, and so stock definitely up. Next, another chance I took with Benny Logan going to the Patriots. A defensive tackle might go here, but I was thinking Logan would make enough noise to, a strong Henry Melton 3 type defensive tackle would move into the first round, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think he's going to stay toward the middle, but the Patriots still might get a defensive tackle here. Next, we have the Falcons getting Alex Okafor. He's another one that did not work out, but I think he did enough pre-combine stuff, to be able to withstand this. But he's still going to have to do a pretty good pro day. Next, we have at 31, the 49ers getting Matt Elam, safety, Florida. I really like Elam. And I really see him from what he did and the confidence he showed out there. I know he dropped one pass on a drill that they were having a lot of fun on, but he looked big, he looked strong, he looked sure of himself. So I could see him going as high as 18 to the Cowboys. Hey, I don't know why I'm digging these Florida players. I got a friend that's a Florida fan. He's gonna love this video. Jeez. All right, number 32. I have the Ravens getting John Jenkins, nose tackle Jordan from Georgia. When the Ravens did not have Nada there in the middle of their defense, it was very soft. It looked really soft. So there needs somebody in there to shore that. But hearing that John Jenkins could have been 370 pounds, I think it'll remind the Ravens of Terrence Cody, and they're not going to do it. All right, guys, that's my mock draft. The next one will come right after free agency. After the teams plug major holes, then all of that will change because the teams' needs would change. All right, guys. After that draft, we're going to probably try to have a Twitter draft the night before the draft. We'll get people to declare a team, and then we'll make the picks going up to the draft. All right, and last but not least, come by the YouTube channel on Monday. I'm still working things out, but we're starting to do an hour every Monday, 9 o'clock Central Time. I'm there. Come by, ask questions, do whatever, and we'll have a good time. All right, guys, holla.